Hello, hello, hello. Hello, I'm in the mood. And we'll see who joins in here as I do a surprise live stream. And see if I can get it together here. Let me test something. And I think I'm crackling. Am I crackling? Hi, Alex. You need to let me know if I'm crackling. Am I crackling? I'm crackling, aren't I? I hear something in the background. Hello, Tara. What's up? Let me know what's going on as I watch the delayed feed here. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Let me see now. Esmeralda, Shawnee. You let me know if the sound is weird, because I got some crackles on my end. But if you're not hearing that, that's cool. How are you? I'm just sitting here. I'm like, press the live button. Let's see what the hell happens. And let me make sure my levels are clear. I could see part of the reason why it could be crackling on my end. Let me do that. Terry, yeah, whenever you get settled, man, say what's up. I'll probably maybe go for an hour here. We'll see, what I'm going to do. But again, let me know for those. Let me know how it sounds. I'm going to have to listen to myself here in a second. Hello, Tara. What's up? Let me know what's going on as I watch the delayed feed here. It sounds like it doesn't sound good. So you guys didn't have to help me out here. Claire, good to see you. How's it going? Let me see now. This might be, yeah, it's being weird. Give me a second. You let me know if the sound is weird, because I got some crackles on my end. But if you're not hearing that, it sounds clear. Okay. This might be a stream where I'm gonna do another test here, and it sounds good. That's so odd. I'm gonna do another test here, and it's gonna irritate some of you probably. This might be a stream where you're gonna ask me questions. So let me see. I'm gonna do another test here. It does sound good. It does sound good. I'm gonna do another test here, and it's gonna irritate some of you probably. All right. I think it's. Hey, Hoffman. Venus Kazemi, greetings. Is that why I did this? Is that why I losing my mind here? Losing my mind here at the studio is because I needed to do something, because I'm just sitting here just like, I could work on this, I could work on that. I got a heavy workload right now in two different areas of my life. I could do those things. I went outside earlier to go check some stuff out and say happy birthday to somebody, and came back with a bag of books, which I will show you. I promised myself no more books, and bargains just keep coming my way. So that's what's up. Yes, we're in the sun right now. This started to happen yesterday, really, last couple days, slowly with Venus. We're in that place. Yes, it is like exact at 4:11 to 4:15 a.m. Pacific in the morning. so on and so forth. I uploaded a video today of just me talking about thoughts I've had this week. Listen, I've had a lot of deep stuff ruminating. I just can't put that stuff into words. I'm sure many of you are in the same place. So I decided, hey, turn on the lights. I might not be able to just do any videos for the next 4 to 5 days because where I live is about to hit 104 degrees for the next so many days as of tomorrow. So if I do any videos, I have to work on anything, I have to do it early in the morning or super late at night. It's going to be warm. So part of this is like, let me go live and see what happens. I should let people know that I'm live on that platform called Instagram. And give me a second. All right, I needed to test that and do that. Ashley Dowd, I see you, and good to see you all. 6 of you watching. I should say something on my Instagram. If you could, and you would, ask me a question or two in the chat. Astrological, and let's see if I can say something about it. Just to just to trigger my mind. And while you come up with something, I gotta feed this into my Alex, you know what? I was 2 notes off of that song. Yep, that was 2 notes off that song, actually, which is funny. Zelda Freak is gonna catch that. I didn't realize what I was doing until after. I was like, wait a second, it sounds like something. I wonder if I could do that, if I could learn Song of Sorrows or something like that and play it and not get a copyright strike. So, give me a second here, because I gotta make a story on IG. I'm live. They're gonna let me put a link here. Oh, there it is. IG, they're just changing so much. So yeah, you know, I made that video today on some thoughts that I have. You know, it kind of falls in the same thing that I do. You know, I like to talk about centering oneself and coming to a place, you know, that kind of thing. So Alex D asks in the chat, I was watching an interview with Rob Han and Stephen Forrest, and they were discussing if you can transcend your birth chart or deviate from it. Transcend your birth chart or deviate from it. Is that what you said? Well, that's kind of, it's interesting because that's kind of a fate and free will question, really. I'm a believer, and I tell clients this. I tell clients this, that your birth chart is locked. You come in with that. You're fated into that thing. Now, I have my own tidbits on fate and free will, but I also think it's a launching pad. And I think that we make choices. Now, you could think whatever choices we make for the rest of life or the choices we don't, or we can't figure out the squares in their chart or whatever, that's fated. Yes, I don't want to even care about that. I just tell my clients, and where I'm at in this modern world where I come from more traditional and modern ways of thinking about astrology in my own street sense. But let me put it this way. I got no degree. I don't come from wealth. I come from a hard-working immigrant family, and I'm first generation. So my view and my way of being in the world is different. Okay? So saying that, where I come from, part of that is in what I do as a person and as a practitioner. I think that one can use the launching pad that their chart is and actually evolve or evolve, transcend, deviate, whatever they said in that interview, which you probably saw on YouTube. If that's the both of them, that's an older interview, that's for sure. That's the philosophy I come from. I try not to get too philosophically heavy with my clients about it. And most of the time my clients are coming to have a conversation. I'm helping them. We're not going to have a debate about that. That's for sure. And if there's anything about a debate about like how to do this and that, I'm not into it. I'll let the other astrologers do the debate publicly and get in other BS stuff like on that horrible platform that's called Twitter and something like that. So for me, that's, to put it simply, your birth chart is a launching pad, and there's potential there to change some of the things or evolve, whatever the aspects are, whatever the signatures. Some of the things we may never feel like we move forward in. Some of them we do. We just don't have enough time to fulfill it all. So if you're going to live 5 years in 200 years, I don't think you're still going to fulfill it all. So that's the way I come from. Ashley says, I can't think of a question, but I feel pretty lucky. It's 1 a.m. in New York, and I'm never up this late. I'm trying to see this meteor shower. Yes, meteor shower's rocking, too, because we have going into a balsamic moon. There's no moon in the sky that's bright. So if you're super clear, this is one of the best years to see something like that. A fellow astrologer did a story on this that was mentioning that, but I should be out there right now. I could, but I have things to do like to stream, and I have something to study for tomorrow because I'm not going to tell you what's happening, but I'm about to do a recording that will be published soon that is astrological, and I have to do that. And that is really cryptic of what I just did. Alex, no problem. Good to see you, Alex, too, by the way. Yeah, so, hey, ask me another question. I'll do my best. I don't know everything about astrology. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. I don't know everything about anything. But, one thing I didn't say in my video today was the actual date. I got it here somewhere. I'll just look it up on a calendar. It's just like a 20-degree Leo Venus-Sun conjunction, right? But we're still going backwards after this. But when does it hit 20 degrees again? And that's what I had on my list today, and I didn't mention that in the video just because I went somewhere else. But just to let you know, that 20-degree hit is happening like the 26th and 27th of September is when we have it. So this particular degree that we're at is going to be repeated 26th and 27th. Hey, why not put a chart up? Since I have the ability to do something like that, let's go to that date. And let me see if I can put a chart up on the screen. September, not August, September 25th. I'll start there, and I'll bust a move. I'll put it up on the screen here in a second. What book? Oh, I see a question. What book are you reading not related to astrology? I actually have a book that's not related to astrology. I'll say that a little bit later. She's feed me stuff because of the questions I ask on my podcast. So give me a second. Oh, hello. Hi, chart. Hello, chart. This is September 25th, 2023. It's a Monday here. That is, and let me see if I can do this the way I usually do it. With an app I use, which I don't particularly, is not my favorite app. There is Venus here at 20 degrees, 14 minutes. It's pretty much this chart you're looking at. It's 9:41 p.m. September 25th on a Monday. So that Monday East Coast time, the 26th on the Tuesday, this is where we hit the same degree as that we are now as the Venus Sun conjunction in the Cazimi. So Stella in chat says this Cazimi is squaring my natal nodes at 21 Scorpio Taurus. I feel like this is significant. Yes, it is. The Cazimi is also happening during my lunar return. Nice. So Stella saying that, yes, it affects you, but you got more there. You got more affecting you. I will say that because you've had so much happen to you as a fixed sign person. As your nodes, going through the eclipses. So you have I mean, even in this chart, actually, let's do this. Even in this chart, if you look, it's on the 25th of September, it's 22 degrees Uranus in Taurus. And your nodes are 21. So right now, you have more coming your way with Uranus on your nodes. That's no joke. Casey, what's up? This is my favorite Venus and Cazimi of all time. Casey, that's amazing that you have been through all times of Venus and Cazimis in the history of the universe, from the past to now into the future, and that you've come back to tell us that this is your favorite. So I feel that we're all just, wow. Incredible. Andrea V. Hi. Irreful. Oh, thank you, God, you're here. I'm not functioning at all. Well, I'm glad you're here because I think we're all somewhat not functioning, barely functioning. I'm functioning. Stella, I'm also Scorpio rising. Hey, surprise, surprise. Scorpio energy is on my stream. Have been a lot of my clients in the last year. Continue to be. Please, Scorpionic energy, come into my world. Book readings with me. Say comments on the chat. Say comments on anything that I do social media wise, because you are so welcome to be there. I appreciate the energy that you have, and I love checking you. So, yeah, yeah. So anyway, the chart up on the screen is just, again, September 25th into the 26th is when Venus goes back to 20 where it is now. What else could I show you? I guess I could show you now. Actually, let's just do the event. Venus conjunct the sun. And here's the chart. Exactly at 4:15 a.m. Well, I've been saying 4:11, but shit, it's right now. Shani, another Scorpio rising. What's up, Shani? How are you? By the way, man, I saw that voice thing you did with that trio or wherever you're at or what you're doing. I didn't even know, man. You're gifted, girl. You got that music in you, man, which means history. You got a lineage of music history moving through your body and through your voice and whatever else you have. I caught that. I saw that. Scorpio rising. I saw that. So anyway, I will hopefully stay on screen here. Yeah, so here's the chart for this morning, or what's happening now. There it is. Hey, look at that. 20s. 20. Hi. Hey, let's look at something more interesting, huh? Let's look at this Chiron right here it's hitting this right now. And the sun is vibing with that too. How amazing. How amazing is that? That we have a Chiron story at the heart of all this. We get to help each other out. We get to bring past wounds from the Aries parts of our chart, or the ones we're continuing to deal with, that come with so much knowledge, so much insight, and I personally think helps Venus here. Like they're holding hands into the sun. I think it's good. I think it's amazing. On Monday, let's just we'll say it's Tuesday. Let's switch it up. Venus here at 19 degrees officially does its trine on Monday. Amazing. Super cool, I think. Venus has this companion that deals with healing through the sun. I love it. I really love it. Are things hard right now, especially for fixed signs or whatever else? Yeah, but wow. What else do you want? Chat says, you got it, Shani. You got it, Shani, by the way. Tina's answering Alex D. and talking about Ram Dass, a.k.a. Richard Alpert. If any of you were a fan of the series Lost that was on ABC, Richard Alpert is one of the main character names, which is funny. Anyway, if you could also check out a book that came out about Ram Dass, Richard Alpert, and Timothy Leary, and several people that came out of Harvard, and they started doing LSD and shit and all that, and what happened in their lives. I forgot the name of the book. Fascinating book. Anyway, in the chat says, Ram Dass said something along the lines of the chart is our dharma to do on this world, but there's another level, which is the transcendent, but we're still on earth and have to live life. Interesting, Tina. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, well, I could say to that transcendence is on planet Earth, that we have transcendent moments from our chart. It's multi-leveled. Then you could say we're constantly transcendent. You could say that too, taking some of that into account. I think that we are constantly stepping up and stepping down because our mind does that thing to be logically trying to understand things all the time. That the mind does things like that's from a past video. What am I doing? Just so you know, that's coming up. So where if we didn't have a stepping up towards or falling down back towards to step back up to, what the hell would life be about? If we didn't have this thing that this matrix that we're dealing with the world of having to go through things or to start something and to grow, push out, to have it come back down, to do it all over again. So, it's interesting when we hear the word transcendence because of how people take it. I got my street way of doing it, okay? That's me. The Greek Ecuadorian street way, where I come from, proudly. I know transcendence through hard work and failure through very material world things. Then I took some LSD one day and mushrooms and all the other things that I did, and the doors opened up for me. I took some mushrooms and I listened to Jimi Hendrix's album, Axe as Bold as Love, an incredible masterpiece to listen to on an amazing stereo and on headphones, and I transcended. And it led me down a path to where I am now. Same with Miles Davis's album, In a Silent Way, which is a fusion type of record with Chick Corea, a bunch of people, Joseph Zambola on that album. Go find In a Silent Way. There's only one side of the album is continuous, the other side is continuous. 2-3 songs labeled. Listen to it on headphones. You don't have to take psychedelics. That's how I transcended. That's how my life changed. That's what set me on a course of creativity to become a professional photographer and do all types of things of dealing with the occult and the astrology and everything else. That changed my life. It changed the direction of my life. Then you just get back to Earth, and I think we find our ways of doing this back and forth again. Sometimes we get stuck in places, I think, that don't feel like transcendence. We can actually say they're dark holes and depressive states, but I actually think that's the place that has the most potential for transcendence if you get through it. Ranting now. There's in the chat, Shani says, there's a really beautiful story unfolding for all of us during this Venus transit. Love that you continue to incorporate Chiron into the conversation. Well said. Yes, don't want to forget this. I'm having a Chiron return personally. I cannot help but do this. I have a 20-degree Gemini sun. This whole thing is sextiling my world. It's like, I'm not saying it's easy. I got fixed angles in my chart. I've had a tough 2 weeks, but at the same time, I've had a tough year in a lot of ways. But because of that, I've been able to step up in these ways of dealing with some of the what I feel inconsistencies or getting thrown off course supposedly, but I'm not. And I think this Sun Chiron, the way it's happening, Chiron especially, I just have learned so much about myself with the Chiron transit that I'm able to actually preach or do what I preach to all of you. Like I take it and I start working with it. Tina, maybe the Pisces fish is one full on earth and one transcendent. I can't read the last letters because of these emojis. So there's something there. Ask anything else. I actually like what you all are asking and going. And I forgot to share this on my social media on Facebook. So while we do that, let's have some sharing on Facebook music. Yeah. Why is it doing that? Let's see if it does it here. Let's see if I transcend into another reality zone that is social media. Let's see if this works. And the thumbnail that it just created for me to put on Facebook, I'm like this. So yeah, I did that, and I'm gonna do one more move here to help myself out. And then I'll bust out a book or two here that I picked up today, or that I've acquired recently, and a couple other things. So one more chance here for me to go to. I have to post to my business page on Facebook, then share to my personal profile. So that's what I am doing right now. You know, what we're doing in cell phones and apps and stuff is a wild, insane form of time travel if you think about it. I mean, if some of us who know life before a cell phone call, it's just like you're going from here to there instantly, when before you would have to write a letter, or back in the day, there was some pigeons with a message, or there was a scroll, there was a stone that was etched, and it had to be taken from one place to another to deliver the message. And that took some time. Now it instantly happens. It's time traveling. Now, is the message clearer and deeper and maybe equivalent to what was etched in stone or what was brought by horseback across hundreds of miles on an intense journey? Let's just say it's a love letter, right? Is it the same? So we have the instant thing of time travel in this messaging, and what I'm able to do right now with you. I'm in your place. Wherever you are, you're in Chicago, you're in Europe, wherever you are, I'm there right with you right now. I'm hanging with you. It's amazing. But I will say there's something to a letter or a message that takes time to get somewhere because of what time does. It weathers a message, right? Let's just say it's a love letter. And that, let's say you already sent me the love letter 3 weeks ago. I just got it. And I'll take a couple, I'll read it and smell it, and there's definitely a scent on it. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's right here with me, right here, but not with me. I need to see this person. I just wish they were here. Go for a walk through the garden, come back, write a letter. Pages. Takes 3 weeks to get to you. There's something about that particular dance in messaging that I think is lost these days because of the instant message we get. So I miss you. You miss me. I'm right here. Hey, even though we can't touch each other, I miss you. That I can hear you. But sometimes you need the silence, I think, and the in-between space to let things grow and move and weather itself and become something. And that's unseen. That is unseen. And that is like, to me, the juice. Like the something, you know? So I try to remember that. Like right there. To pause. And we have silence together, and it's something else. Let me get to what I see in the chat. What are your thoughts on how we experienced the first South Node eclipse in October in Libra? My thoughts are it's hardcore because Mars and Libra's involved and Pluto's involved on the whole week leading up to that, because we're going to have Mars, even though it's not at the same degrees as the eclipse, there's going to be a Mars-Pluto thing building around that time too. It's pretty intense. That's a tough eclipse right there. Alex D, there are a couple astrology apps that use Black Moon Lilith. What is that? That's a good question. I'm going to tell you the technical thing. There's several ways of calculating Black Moon Lilith. There's different ways. I'm not the expert on that. And if you remind me later, I will put that in the comments as one or two people that I know. But we're dealing with, and maybe somebody else, we're dealing with the dark feminine here. And let's just say what dark is. Not evil and some shit. Nothing like that, okay? But that's some base core premise of it. You definitely should take a look at it, your chart, and look to see. But it's sort of a hypothetical thing in the chart, but there's several different calculations for it. And it's definitely present. You probably have read and seen other astrologers talk about how Lilith is involved here in this past week with it. So there's like a sacred sexuality thing going on and so much more. I'm not doing it justice. I am not the person to riff on that. I could say more, but I don't think I could do Black Moon Lilith justice definitely is some dude. I'm not going to even go there because then she's going to walk through my window here and I'm going to pay the price. So I honor you, Black Lamouth Lilith. I would do more research and reacquaint myself. I used to know this stuff a long time ago. I'm serious about that, who you call upon. That owl in the background always makes me go in a mini trance. That's good because I'm constantly in a mini trance. Alex C says, absence makes the heart grow fonder versus out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Andrew V, I love the way your duality of Gemini mind thinks in the dichotomies of energy. That was a great point about time traveling, and having to wait makes the experience more cherished. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. I just think the more we're in this state of computer land and virtual worlds, that can't forget the art of that. Sometimes it happens like in Saturn transits. Like if Saturn hits you in a certain way, let's say it's messing with your Mercury, slow down, you have to contemplate things, right? But something happens then. We're just at a party with a bunch of people. A lot of noise. A lot of whatevers. I mean, it's cool, you've been handling, but then you're like, you go walk outside to get your breath of fresh air. Right? And all of a sudden, your brain just clears. Like, you get some time. Yeah, you get some time. So I had another example happen earlier today because of something that happened recently in my world, someone passing away, and also talking to certain people. And this is regardless of age. When we talk to people who've recently had someone leave their life, like someone in their life passed away, died, and moved on, just the look in their eyes and how they were forever changed. You're forever changed. And then how you do look at time, like what you do with time. To go back to something what happens between spaces. And then the appreciation of those spaces, whether it's silent or whatever's happening, it shifts on you. And that's where time actually shifts, like because of what your body's doing and your thought process, and then what you decide to take action on or to define for the rest of your life, or how a person defines something for you in your life after they're gone. That in a sense, things are carried on through time within you. And with that, there's a responsibility, I think, that comes that's intense, but most of the time, I think it's, most of the time, anyway, you do things differently. You just do things differently. So, it's a thing here, let's say with Venus here, going into the sun, we have all these different ways of doing it. I didn't get a chance to see Chris, good friend Chris Brennan, put out a video. I know earlier this week that he mentioned that he was working on something with Demetra. He put out a video today, which that's the person I want to hear about Venus from, is Demetra. By the way, that's the person. And, we have different ways of looking at what's happening astrologically. I try to keep it street smart and very simple. I do my research. I know about this other deeper myth stuff. I'm not the creative writer that you see on Instagram and stuff. I've seen so many different takes on this and so many of the same ones, and I understand what astrologers have to do to sell something, to be alert of something. We're all in it. We all like the different takes on what's going on. But you know what? Whatever your knowledge is about astrology, whatever level, you have your own take too, and that's truth. And however you deal with Venetian matters, self-worth, relationships, financial means, resources, desire, you have your own take without me saying anything or anybody else. And trust that one for you too, I think that the universe is so magical in so many ways that it's always showing us things, and we just catch it sometimes, as in our awareness of things. And we have certain things that happen where we take ourselves out of normal whatever, and we find things come to us symbolically through sound and words, through our senses, through situations. And yes, they can be reflected off textbook stuff that I could say on my channel or anybody else. But you know best, the uniqueness. It can happen in thousands of different ways. But the premise as for stepping out of a situation, having that perspective, which I really means, in this case, Venus stepping in to the sun, I think there's it's just a moment of just clean clarity, whatever that truth is, however amazing or however brutal that it is. So you know it best for yourself. And, you know, I encourage people, and I encourage clients, they pay me, and I give them my opinion. They could pay another astrologer, and they're going to have different opinion and some other techniques or whatever. That's cool. You know, but I encourage clients to, like, find out what it is for yourself, right? And a lot of times when people come to me, they're just getting confirmed about what they already know, or things are reflected with the timing, or I might say some stuff that they've never heard before that gives them perspective, right? So that's how it works. But I think here, with something like Venus and the sun, or this whole transit, I think the ways the messages come across are, whether you like them or not, are incredible. Again, I said this on my video earlier today. The conversations I've had with clients as of late, the personal conversations I've had at the heart of matters with friends, with strangers, with whoever, there's just a look in their eyes. There's something there. You see, I could see the process, like, really forward without even having to take it 5 minutes within a conversation, or you're right there, you know? And that in itself is raw expression. So that is part of the deal here, right? And I've been fortunate enough to catch those symbolic things from other people and other situations in my life, right? The rawness of it all and the acknowledgement of that. So, you know, it's something like this transit, I'm so appreciative for. And I even think back when there was a Venus Sun thing that happened in Capricorn a year and a half ago, or whatever it was, 2 years ago. But here, this one's special. There's something about this one. And I think when we deal with Leo archetypes, when we're dealing with our personal code and the expression of our code, and how it can be connected to our sexuality, and that's true, like power lies, and our creative pursuits, and the longing that we have for things, and what we desire, and to fulfill that longing, those pursuits, you know, that is like, how intense can you get? That's it, you know. And that's everything pretty much in life stems from that burning raw source. Esmeralda says, I was actually watching Chris' episode when Dimitri on your live came on. Oh yeah. I haven't watched that yet. I should coin this term street smart astrology. I could, but I'm not the only one. Kathu Tarot, how are you? Good to see you. Good morning, good evening. I just woke up from a very Venus Kazemi dream. Venus retrograde brought quite a mess in my life. I've been in survival mode for a couple of weeks. The Kazemi feels fertile. Ah, I hear and see your words, Kathu Tarot, and see what you've been going through. And the way you ended your comment about feels fertile. That's good you catch that. With all the mess or the challenges that you have, that you've caught that feeling. That's good. Sit in that one for a while. I said that in my video today. Like, we got Sun trine Jupiter, or Chiron, and we got the Venus conjunction here. What's happening now? We have the Chiron Venus thing on Monday. We got new moon in Leo on Wednesday. We got some days here to, if you, like our friend here in the chat, catches something, even with some challenges in their life, catches that something, and you can hold that and connect to it and hold it. You don't have to do anything with it. You could just hold it and let it be, because it has the potential, more than it's potential of turning into something, or to fulfilling what we're talking about. I think I think it's fascinating here because when we hit the 23rd of this month, Mercury's going to go retrograde. It's in Virgo right now. It's going to go retrograde. We've got a Jupiter station that's going to happen here soon. When we get into September, we have, it's funny, on paper it doesn't look like a lot, but there is, because I think when Mercury retrogrades, everything's right there in front of you, right? It's making aspects to Jupiter and Taurus, Earth, Uranus and Taurus, Earth, just as Venus and Leo is making square aspects. They're kind of a side-by-side thing, this Mars and Virgo transit right now, this Mercury and Virgo transit, right? And it carries over into September. Mars doesn't. It changes into Libra, later this month. But if you see what I'm saying here, then September comes, Venus starts to move forward and go past all these degrees that we just did, that we are doing right now, that all had multiple connections with Chiron, Jupiter, and Uranus, and we get to do it again. And Mercury's kind of in the middle of that too. So, I think it's important that some of the things that are happening right now really get to show themselves and reveal themselves the farther we go into September. And I think that's magical and pretty beautiful too, because I like to think of things as a story. Even if stuff sucks you're dealing with in your life, like, know that it's not the same. It's going to move. It's going to move somehow. In what way? I don't know for your own world. Sometimes that's why people get consultations with me, but we don't fully know even in a consultation. We could kind of look at the weather of things, but know that it's gonna shift again. It's gonna change. But the basic story, or as in Cathu Tarot said here in the chat, Cazimi feels fertile for whatever it is for them. For whatever it is for you. You feel some fertile thing. You feel something that's leaving, and that's something that's coming up that's been there. Like, you could smell it and taste it. It's around you, and it feels like it's cracking and popping. It's ready to roll, but you can't do anything about it. That's something there. This is the time to connect with that, to wish for, in a sense, to put a wish for your desires, for what you're longing for, that wish. That's where we are right now, because then later on we get to see how this fulfills and moves, and you are a part of it, and you're welcome, Cathu Tarot, in the chat. And good to see you. Part of the reason I go do these surprise live streams at night is because I know there's other people in the world who can't catch me at other times. So, plus, I'm in a mood tonight. So, and let's just see if I can get the biggest jug. It's hot up in here. Yeah, where I am, if you didn't watch the beginning of the stream, it's about to hit over 105 for the next 4 days where I am. I'm going to have to deal with that. Find cool places to work. So, ask me some questions in the chat, people. Ask me about a date. I keep looking at dates. This is April 14th, Monday. Hell, let's go to the new moon. Let's time travel to the new moon that's going to be on Monday, on Wednesday. We will look at a lunation here, new moon that's on the 16th. It will calculate the chart here. And this is the new moon that's at 2:38 a.m. on the 16th, which is Wednesday coming up. Let's annotate it. It's happening at 23 degrees Leo. Venus is right there. Chiron is still there. What else, though? What else? Did I just do... What kind of design am I doing right now? What is this? Wait, no, that's... Let's do it this way. No, Nicholas. There. 23 degrees Uranus and Taurus. And you could see how it is exactly squaring this new moon on Wednesday. You see how this is going down? It's an electric new moon on Wednesday. After a Cazimi moment and everything that's going on here, some silence, And then the drama begins. And so we have this connection that's hitting the new moon and imprinting it there. So know that that is coming here, that we're surfing this chill area. Let's just call it chill. If some of you have passion in your life and you're getting it on creatively right now, good for you, by the way, in that catharsis mode that we're all in. But look at this. On Wednesday, we have this Uranus power play here, okay? So what else do we see? Let me clear that out. You could see here that we have Uranus trining Mars. Mars is at 22 degrees in this chart, and you could see that it is exact. You see how Uranus is a major player here? I'll go to the chat. I'll get to you in a second, to some of the comments I see there. So we have that. What else do we see? Well, we see that we see what we're talking about here, the Uranus squaring the sun and moon, and we see the trine that's happening with Mars in Virgo. See how Virgo's in this? You see how it's Leo-Virgo mixing going on in here all the way till the end of September. We have, how could we forget? Pluto continuing this squaring the nodes. We have a rough conjunction here of Mars and Mercury together, pretty much the closest they're going to get to each other, because they're not going to have an exact conjunction because Mercury's slowing down, and there is that. So these are signatures of the chart here on Wednesday. Pluto's always in the background, but Uranus is the player that's connecting to several things here, and we take note of that. But we have, I think, a major. Can you have a push forward during a retrograde? We have something here that is another shakeup that's happening, that does happen, that continues, that I think could be difficult for some, but with the Mercury, with the Mars-Uranus trine, we look to where Mars takes action in the chart, and I think it's highly supportive here and could be used. So let me get to the chat. .106 where you are, Shiny. Dang, I know. Kathy says, we're moving houses next Saturday. It's a big change. They having to leave the city, getting an apartment livable within a few days. Funny thing is, now wife and I had a first date right before Venus station 8 years ago, 2015. Yeah, very interesting. And that is how Venus transits work, by the way. These 8-year cycles and longer year cycles. You could go back to 2000 fame. You keep going back. I saw some date way back in a chart I did with a client this week that was wild. It was like, I think it was 95. There wasn't a Kazemi. There was a Venus-Sun conjunction, but it wasn't retrograde, but it was wild. Anyway, Tina's talking about a new electrical panel going to my house while simultaneously my house is being tented, kicked out of work and home. Ah, I see what's happening to the bottom and top of your chart. Interesting. Yeah. So the new moon was there, okay? And so saying that, I will repeat. Part of me is like, do I want to take a phone call? But I don't even want to go there. Let's see if I can get this together. Question in the chat. Hey Nicholas, do you have anything to say about all of this going on, having Leo, my natal 10th house, which means you're a Scorpio rising? I outed you. You you tell us, Planet Queen? Has the stage that you've been standing upon not functioning anymore? You could say it that way. Do you have a new project in mind that's wanting to be implemented in the public sphere, public status part of your life? Is that part of your life going through a makeover? That's a couple ways of looking at it. Have you been meditating on what you could do next and how you show yourself in the world? It's another way you can look at it. But you, Planet Queen, are going to know best. What do you want to happen in that part of your chart? What do you desire in that part of your chart? That is my anything to say about your question. And thank you for asking, Planet Queen. That's a good name, Planet Queen. Give me a second. I'm prepping to get something. I just bit my tongue. Ow. Planet Queen. You have Libra rising. If we do it on a rough estimate here, I'll just show you. We'll do like a quick something here. And we'll do sun sign wheels, okay? And then we'll take a Libra rising. Chart. Does it let me do that? Anyway, it's not. So, I'm not trying to be psychedelic on you right now. Depending on how you do your chart, your Leo house could be in the 11th house. It could be in the 10th too. So the midheaven could be falling there for you. I do whole sign. That's how I roughly calculated my brain. But if you're Libra rising, it would be 11th. But it could be 10th too. So, yeah. So, another question is, if you were a Leo, especially with any placements around 23 degrees, I'd buy a lotto ticket. Steffi G is saying that because of Uranus being involved in that. Yeah, you want to know what this is? It's it basically, any chart that I could do on this Astrological program, for those who have it, you can have a chart for anything for every sign on the ascendant, right? So you could see the Aries there, and then there's a Taurus one. But that's for different uses. I just went to go look at something. I just use this. It's for different uses. And, if one's learning how to do sun signs horoscopes, or they're doing videos to anything for each rising sign, you can kind of help yourself do this by, basically here. The new moon is on Wednesday. And what does it mean for Aries rising, right? So the new moon happens in the 5th house for Aries. And you do the video like, hey, this new moon is It's got Uranus coming in from Taurus. It's electrifying your 5th house of pleasure. And you so love pleasure, Aries, in its ways. Raw, sweaty. Well, anyway, I won't keep going. But you could, that's how you could do things if you're learning as to what's on each ascendant. So we go look at the Cancer rising there. Obviously Leo's in the 2nd house. Scorpio's below there. I just know that because 10th, because on the angles, so on and so forth. Pisces here at the very bottom. I can't move this because of the way things are going here on my setup. But you could see there's Leo rising, 1st house, so on and so forth. So that's what's going on. Tina, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Sweet dreams. And thanks for saying what's up. All right, so this book is recent. There's 2 of these books, and one, it's called The Grimoire Encyclopedia, Volumes 1 and 2 by David Rantkind. And if in the occult world, this is just like, oh my God, everything, oh my goddess. I can say, oh my Mercury. Oh, Venus. An amazing reference encyclopedia for all types of things. I mean, I just opened up to something. I just opened up to butter. Butter, goat milk butter, used in ointment for swelling, used in a good remedy for gout. Now, there's references to all types of practitioners, from PGM to everything else. It is such a deep thing of reference. I'm learning about other things in the occult world to bring in things. So they have whatever, from crystals to herbs to plants, what they are in reference to, what they are in reference to in grimoires, from you're dealing with like the Secret of Secrets, the Magus, Testament of Solomon, all this other stuff in the occult world. People are using grimoires, all types of stuff, the Picatrix, Bible, on and on and on. Greek magical papyri, all types of things is referenced in these 2 books. Not everything, but an amazing something that just came out not too long ago, that just came in the mail. I'm really, really happy because this is one of these books that I'm never going to get rid of. Volume 1 and 2. I'll look it up here for you in a second, and I wish I could put Amazon my own link up or whatever. I don't care. Go find it. You can go to mybookshop.org. You can order through there. Whatever you do, if you're into something like this and you're a multi-practitioner and you're learning about all different types of practices, this is an amazing book, set of books that have come out and came in the mail. And it's soft cover, and I was so worried that they would become wrecked in the mail, and they didn't. Lucky Nicholas. Hoppin says in chat, your show looks interesting. Well, it's a bookshop in Seattle called Edge of the Circle Books. One of the old school occult bookstores and candle shops and anything to do with occult in Seattle. It's next to the Neptune Theater in a university district. Go say hi to him. Please support him. He's been around for years. That's what the thing is. Okay, so Planet Queen says, yes, I have 19 degrees Libra rising. I was using Placidus. You got it, Planet Queen. Hey, we learned something, didn't we? You had to go look at your chart and do all that kind of stuff. That's the fun part, you pick up on things. I'm going to promo this. The Mountain Astrologer magazine. Why am I going to promo this? Because they've kind of had a birthday or an anniversary of sorts. The founder of this magazine, Tim, who's passed away, who's still here with us right now and through this magazine. Someone else owns it. Ray Sapp owns the magazine and is a fellow colleague. And I think has metamorphosized this magazine slowly in the last several years since Tim's passing and the passing of the torch. And has taken chances with the magazine creatively. And when you do something like that and you have something that's old and established and then things change, some people don't dig it. They can't deal with it, right? And some people do and they go with it. And some people just wait and see and they just get it in the mail. But I think it's kind of come into its own groove here as of late. And from a design perspective, and from the articles and the new types of people that have been showcased in the magazine to two different Instagram profiles that they have. One that's the Mountain Astrologer. The other one, if you go to the Mountain Astrologer on Instagram, you'll see the other profile there. It's called Neptune something. I'll look at it. A more creative, poetic way of looking and embodying astrology. It shows up in the articles. It shows up with the different writers. I'm a huge fan of this magazine. Anyone in the astrology world, if you're studying or whatever, it is next to having an ephemeris, a paper ephemeris, is subscribing to this magazine. There's 2 to 3 different ways of doing it. You can subscribe to a PDF or viewing on the web, PDF only view and all that, which is great. You can do the subscription where it comes with the digital copy. I just love the ritual of getting the issues in the mail. They do 4 a year now. To do a publication like this by paper costs a lot of money. I don't ever want that to go away. I don't ever want this to go away. So if you see it in your local organic grocery store or wherever you are, some tarot card shop or whatever, buy the magazine, support them. Better off, you get a really good deal when you subscribe. And they have all these other blog pieces that they put up. They've had a traditional blog piece that comes up on Monday, and they've also sourced other writers that not necessarily have been established and famous for a long time. They have those writers too. They always will. But I have to say that they brought in new people and they're taking risks and chances. And that's what we want when we're constantly evolving and transiting in whatever practice that we're in. We like to see that. We don't want to see people get in parts of our world get too stubborn and close people off. You have to take risks in during change and to bring in something new and to incorporate everybody. So that is my promo for this magazine. If you subscribe to this magazine and you tell them that Sparkles of Gold sent you, I'm not getting anything. But do it anyway. And if you're ever somewhere and you're tagging or talking to somebody related to magazines, like Sparkles of Gold was talking about you to us. But by the way, the people behind from the distribution of the magazine who come up with the design, you can take a look at the copy, the editors. There's certain people I've met this year. They're all great, fascinating people. A lot of them women, identified as women. It has that kind of vibe. I want that to be supported and to evolve and to be successful for the community. Now that is a sales pitch. ThinkMountainastrologer.com. You go on a blog piece there too. And not only that, if you're a wild fan of astrology, like an archivist, you can also pay for past issues. They're going way back. They scan that stuff digitally for decades now. You can go way back, and there is a plethora of articles, man. Some of my favorite articles for Mountain Astrologer were written by a particular astrologer. I'll get to that in a second. I also, an old astrological friend who is now passed, but with us always, Jeff Jower. He wrote a major column there for years that I loved because I loved the way he explained things. But anyway, that's my push for that today in this impromptu live stream. Someone's asking in the chat if there's any ritual recommendations to maximize our potential Venus. That's not for me to say. I think I in one sense, I know some people are trying to do talismanic work with this. I am not particularly doing that. To me, it's more chill. Like this live stream is chill. That's what it is for me. If I were to incorporate anything, it was something so very simple, it's the Venus-y types of things. Rose water or something like that, or something that means Venus to you. But, to each is their own on this one, because that's how I feel about it. I have my ways of doing things. Rituals everything constantly in my life, so there's that. But whatever is for you watching out there, you do what you want to do. You do what feels right, man. That's what it is. You do what feels right. Sometimes people are falling asleep right now. I still got this chart up on the screen. Some people are they're falling asleep right now, or they're laying their eyes down, and they might be thinking of something that's at the center of their heart. That's it. Titty X, good to see you. I lit a dress candle. No petitioning. Just light. I feel you. Right on. That's cool. But that's a good question, by the way, that was asked. Any ritual recommendations? I could. But we're all we know what's up. We all find our way. So whatever it is, whatever calls to you, you know. I will say that I you know, like on my video earlier today, I just talked about chill, or that understanding of presence, just being present. And I kind of like what Titty X said here, no petitioning kind of thing. I mean, I had Friday was Venus ritual, so there's that. But I'm just kind of in this place too. I'm just like, okay, I have my deep thoughts about it and my feelings about everything that's happening on a personal level. But and that's all I'll say to that. But keep asking questions. Give me a second. I like that, Natalie Hoffman, just connecting with our hearts. That's a good ritual to live by. You got it, girl. That's totally it. Totally, especially with this Venus stuff and Leo stuff. And while I set something up here, you're trying to see, you could tell what I'm doing right now. I have to figure this out, and I'll talk to you guys when I do this. That's what I like right there, and that is that is going to change into there. And now I got it. Now I figured it out. Yeah. Wise and chill, Nicholas. Thank you for saying that. I think we're all wise and chill, aren't we? We're all wise and chill tonight. Maybe that's what I should call. I should have called the stream was wise and chill. I should have called it wise and chill. Shouldn't I? I should have did that. All right. Whoa. I'm an hour and 15 minutes in. I should wind down maybe. Yeah. I just went with it tonight. We talked about a little bit some things. I didn't say anything profound. Venus Kazemi profound. I know there's plenty of stuff out there. I know it's all there. We have different ways of doing with this. I just go with the flow the way I felt tonight after a walk I had tonight. I saw the sunset. I saw the shading of the clouds like I have been lately. This light, the heat that we're about to encounter here, the study I have to do tomorrow for a big podcast I'm going to be on soon. I will let you know about that soon. The stuff. And I came home and I was like, I remember I could do this whenever I want. And I have some gear set up and I have some visuals, and that's how I'm going to do this. That's how I'm going to end this thing, is with some sound and visual. And yeah, Shani Nicole, love that graphic. It has me thinking. I'm curious to see what the final collective story will be when Pluto leaves Capricorn for good next year. You know, I actually, on my Instagram, I have one of these community groups, and I'll post only on the Moon-Pluto conjunction. And the things I post about is like what we are brewing and dealing with right now, which I think the Venus and Leo transit is, of like what we're worth, our sense of worth is Venus, and where this core desire of expression, where we come from to express ourselves in the world, and how that is such an individualistic thing, but how we eventually, part of the Leo archetype is then to push it out and to share that, regardless of whether we get acknowledgement or not, or we get applause or the boos. They're all part of what's external to us, that we're doing it for the pure creativity of it, for our feeling of connectedness to ourselves. And as human beings, when we do that, we cannot help but to push and create something, whether someone sees it or not. It's internal, it's external, it's both. But later on, when we get a Pluto and Aquarius story, this is where I don't get objective. This is where my own personal views and their political are involved. I think we got some major stuff coming our way politically in the world, as it's been heated up for the last 10 years, but like something else. And it's on an economic level that's been brewing for a long time, that there's an extreme situation happening that has to do with the means to live. And that requires resources, that requires certain things. But those resources are too far and few between for many, many people. This Pluto and Aquarius transit, when it really kicks in, that's when we, after doing our Venus and Leo work, our groundedness within ourselves and our worth, and how we are stuck in a system and in a place that keeps us down and doesn't feel like we can expand, that tires us, that messes with our nervous system. We constantly have to grind. This is a lot of us. Some of us are lucky. They don't have that. They're living in some higher percentages of income. But it's income equality, and it's a class thing, regardless of political party. There's some people in another political party, they're both following orders a certain way, but a certain thing, they like shoot themselves in the foot. They vote for people who go against their innate, what they're worth. They don't see it yet. So I think here with the Pluto and Aquarius thing, there actually can be a bridging a gap between some people in political parties because of class issues, because they realize they're in the same boat, that they're losing, they can't move forward, that they're struggling. So as a collective, the stuff that we're doing right now for our personal self-worth and our expression, the Leo archetype, gets to kick in. Because then we know what we want, what we desire. We know what we're worth. We know what we deserve. We don't want to be pushed down and stepped down anymore. We don't want to see our friends and family struggling. Medical issues, medical bills, can't pay the rent, paycheck to paycheck. So collectively, it's coming down the line. You already see it with unions. You already see it with people banding together. It's community. It almost had to relearn this stuff. COVID, actually, a benefit of COVID was kind of looking to your neighbor and partner to realize you're all in the same boat. You're all human. You're all different, but you're all together when it comes to life and death. So for many of us, COVID's gone. It's still life and death. It's still survival mode for many people, not just in the United States, in the world. So Pluto and Aquarius kicks in. I'm ready to be on the street again. I'm not talking like no house. I'm ready to shout on the street again. And not just on the internet. I'm ready to do it with my neighbors, with whatever, whether it's shouting on the street or coming together as a collective to taking care of things, to have deeper conversations now until then, because when elections happen and whatever else, and it's time to deal with the extreme inequality, when it deals with wealth, it's time. It's time to do something about it. So for now, on a creative level, we realize our worth. To answer the question, and you didn't know this rant was coming, they're saying the class issues will be highlighted even more with Pluto and Aquarius. Yes. And yes to bridging the gap. Wrote a song about it. Okay, Johnny right there, you people watching in the chat, this person highlighted it. It's inherent to their core values as a human being, and they want to bridge the gap. I do too. And then they wrote a song about it. Now, if that isn't a Leo Aquarius togetherness, polarized signs coming together and working something, I don't know what is. That is a perfect example of how stuff like this could work. It doesn't have to be huge and dramatic. Everybody see me on the internet and I get all the likes and stuff's trending. It doesn't. It has to do with your immediate surroundings, your community around you, and how you express yourself, and how through expression you band together and you change things. Any political revolution that happened, or knowledge revolution that's ever happened, it's always happened through creativity. Always through creativity. And then I'll be done ranting. Steffi G says, this is why my Kazemi prayer will be a wish for more people to recognize their power in the spirit of the morning star goddess. Well said. Well said, to bring up the morning star part of this. Titty and X, absolutely ready to be out in the streets again. I'm wild. I used to do this all the time. I'm getting old, but I'm like, I pick my moments. We let these youngins get out there and get off these social media platforms and let them feel the power on the streets. And when they need some help, they got some old school people to help them out, that walks right with them. We exchange our ideas. It's no more the debate like they did on Astro Twitter with the young Gen Zs and millennials criticizing the Pluto and Leos and the Pluto and Libras. And the Pluto and Libras and Leos can't stand the millennial and Gen Zs, and me and Gen X is in the middle. I can't stand all of them. To get past all of that stuff on some dumb platform like Twitter, which, by the way, pushes hate and conflict and rewards it. I don't know why anybody's still on that platform. Whatever the case is, people, to each their own, they figure it out. We get past that on a generational thing, and when you're together, whether it's on the streets or you're organizing or it's within your family and crew in a place of wanting more in your life, you do it intergenerationally. That's how it works. That's how it works. I'm riled up. See, listen, if this stream is coming out of anything, I'm not going to say what my personal wish and desire is for this Kazemi. But outwardly here, coming out here, if we're going to talk about this in the future, my wish is for that empowering movement for you and for us. If we feel human, our right to be human, to be respected as human beings. We're all equal that way. And we do it for ourselves and for the people we love, and the stranger on the street we're walking with, or whoever else we're hooking up with, for the temporary setting to change things in those moments. And to go, there's nothing like our senses engaged together as human beings and what we could do and what we could change. That's how it's always been. You just have to look at the history. Hell, let's do it. Okay, that's my Venus Kazemi wish publicly. Yes, to all you said, Nicholas. I see beautiful mutual aid initiatives coming to be over the next 20 years. I do too. I think a lot of times we have to pay certain prices and go through a lot of hard things when it comes to understanding what that is, and then the implementation of dealing with, mutual aid or something so simple as some stranger sit next to you and what you do with each other. All right. Let's end this stream. I want to thank everybody for joining. I just put this graphic on the screen because it was part of my my August forecast. Venus square Jupiter on the 22nd. Mars-Neptune opposition happening on the 22nd. Mercury stations retrograde on the 23rd. Well, that's a 48 hours, but that's not what I wanted to show you. I think it was this. No, it was that. It was this. All right, y'all. I'm going to segue out with these graphics and some sound. And I want to thank every single one of you for dropping in. I think it was 20 of us at the max. Anybody who cared to watch this later, doesn't matter. I don't really care about views with this stuff. Thank you. And I see you, Catharsis. Thank you for sharing. It's been a beautiful way to start the day. Yes, thank you for being here. May the rest of your day flow on Sun Day. You're already having Sun Day. Aphrodite, we are with you. You're with us. The sacred beauty, sacred geometry, all inherent in pure love form into the sun. It doesn't get any better than this, does it? Let me take you out with some sounds. And so everybody, I see you in the comments. Thank you so much for your comments. Let me do my thing, and then it'll stop. The stream will just stop at some point.